Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dugout Football channel. As you can see, my mood, and I know a lot of people's moods, will be just something of shock. Something like it's just going to be something of complete disbelief right now. A European Super League. A European Super League. Look, I've obviously had my say last night. I'm absolutely against it. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. And I'm absolutely shocked that Liverpool have signed it. I'm absolutely shocked that Liverpool have signed it. Honestly, I honestly don't know what's going through their heads, but last night made me FSG out for the first time ever. Now, that's something that you can say that is something that I'd never thought I would ever say in this, but it's just ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And the Glazers at Manchester United, like Manchester United fans, I feel for you. Like the history of Liverpool and Manchester United has been something that everybody has actually, said that two of the biggest clubs, prestiged in history, is just going to be tarnished by this big European Super League. But yeah, guys, this live stream is welcome for anyone who wants to jump on as well. Just make sure that you are obviously in a quiet room and that you've obviously got headphones or nobody's in with you. But let me just, there are a couple of people in the green room, and I will bring them in very, very shortly. But let's just say hello to a few people. Sportcat1 was in earlier. Absolutely stupid idea. Yeah, absolutely agree with you. Absolutely agree with you. The thing that makes big games special is they don't happen often. Outrageous idea. Yeah, who wants to see Liverpool, Real Madrid, Liverpool, Barcelona, Liverpool, Inter Milan, Liverpool, AC Milan? Like, a couple of times a season. It's just boring. It just doesn't excite me. Doesn't excite me one bit. James Nunlop is in. Hello, James. How are you feeling? The fact that you've got Everton being the club in Liverpool right now. Jan Corner's out. Yep, absolutely agree with you. Livia Stan. Yep, absolutely. Yep, no problem. Reese Woods is in. Hello, Reese. Jack Mack is in. Everyone, it's still very angry. Cannot find the words to explain. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not as well. Guys, hit the like button as well. And share this out if you want to as well. But we have a few people in the green room. So let's have a quick hello to a few people. So starting things off, I'm going to bring on Livia. Oh, hang on. That didn't work. Right, we have Ian Clelland, who has come on. He is an Arsenal fan. Ian, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing not too bad, Doug. How are you doing, man?
In disbelief, my friend. Absolute disbelief. What's your reaction as an Arsenal fan?
I'm disgusted, but at the same time, I'm not surprised that Stan Kroenke would go this direction of not caring about anything. Now, let me try put this in a general perspective. I don't know if you know the financials of what's going to be happening with the Super League in terms of the infrastructure or anything like that. But let me actually say this right here. For the COVID infrastructure and on itself for this league, how much do you think it's going to be?
I read somewhere between, is it £3 billion or something? It's something along those lines, but it sounds to me like another Chinese Super League to me.
It's 350 billion just for the COVID infrastructure and on itself. That's only one part of it. Now
that's ridiculous.
Now, for the infrastructure for the league, how much do you think it is?
Not a clue.
I'm going to tell you right now because I'm going to credit my friend Liam Unrelated, who is in the comments, who got me this information. It's 450 billion for the league infrastructure. 450 billion.
That's mad. That's absolutely mad.
The clubs that have signed up, your Liverpools, us, City, United, Spurs, the big six, have taken £450 billion to go into the Super League to where they can't be relegated because they're a founding father to begin with. Then On top of that, you're throwing away all the history, all the good times that you've had as a club, and you've ruined the legacy of football. Not just that, you've ruined, like you always say it, without fans, you're nothing. The
Exactly.
of every one of these clubs have disrespected all the fans across world football. Your Inter Milans, your Real Madrid, your Barcelonas, who are so about club and fans and everything like that coming together. You've just proven that you care more about the money than you do the fans.
Yeah,
it's like I said last night, I don't know if you saw my post. It's robbing the game. The game is now like dead. Literally dead. And it's like, I'm just, I blame every single owner for putting us, the fans, through all this.
Yeah, absolutely. It's look, the one thing I can say is I'm not too surprised that, you know, like we can say Manchester City and, you know, Chelsea, they've always been, you know, somebody who've, you know, wanted to be, you know, money bound, money etc. But the fact that like Liverpool and Manchester United, like I know the FSG and I know the Glazers, like the Glazers have been so, like they've been taking money out of Manchester United for absolute ages. The fact that FSG have done this really angers me, and I honestly, as like obviously as you as an Arsenal fan as well, I would imagine you'd be absolutely furious with Stan Kroenke right now.
I wanted Stan Kroenke out for years, and he's not even like an owner, because it's like he never shows up to the games. Can you honestly tell me the last time you saw Stan Kroenke at an Arsenal game? I can tell you the last time was that game when we lost in Baku to Chelsea.
Yeah.
The last time we saw any of the Kroenkes, and it's funny, Stan Kroenke wanted 100% ownership of Arsenal to avoid the what's it called? MGM, that's it. AGM. So to avoid all that, and now everything's starting to come out as to why he wanted 100% of Arsenal. Back when we had Usmanov wanting to try off of Kroenke, we should have just took him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting. But Ian, I really do appreciate you coming on and having your say. And I'll speak to you soon, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you for having me on, man.
Absolute pleasure. Take care. See you later. Cheers. So we're going to get someone else into the green room. And now we have Mr. Mickey Friars.
How are
Mickey, long time no see. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm all right. So I'm going to give you a different angle. Obviously, doesn't mean I like what's happening. I've just accepted what's happening. Liverpool have done this, and I think a few of the other teams have done this for the simple fact is they don't want to be left behind. And when I've thought about it, I cannot blame the owners of any football club signing up to this. Because if you had a business and someone was throwing that kind of money at you to be in this tournament, guess what? You would do it. I've took my fan head off and I've put my business head on. And it makes sense that way. Yes, okay. It's not at the moment. Nobody likes it. I'll guarantee you in 5 years' time, when it's had 4 seasons, everyone will love it. Because that's what happens. Yeah. Everyone hated the Premier League when it first came in. We got to remember, the Premier League was a breakaway Super League to start with. It wasn't official until a couple of years in. So it wasn't an official league for 2 years. So, and people forget this. And that was all done through greed and money for the bigger teams. When Real Madrid failed to win the league for so many years, they made UEFA change the Champions League to a top 4 kind of in your league thing so they could qualify every year. No one moaned about that. Was a big uproar for 1 season. After that, everyone loves it. Now it's the norm. Yeah. We've won 2 Champions Leagues from it. This is what will happen. We've got to look beyond. Values are a good thing to have, but football club owners do not have the same values as we do. Their job is to make the club viable. And this is what they've done. And mark my words, this is American based, and these games will not be played at Anfield. They will be played all over the world, like NFL is.
Yeah, absolutely. And
I'm telling you, that's where the money is.
And the funny thing is, like you can say that this is American based, but like the thing I don't get about this whole thing, why have they decided to do it now during the season? Like they could have easily done this at the end of the season, because you look at the facts. Like Ed Woodward has actually come out and said that he's obviously resigned from his position today, and like Alexander Kefren has just come out and said the exact same thing about Ed Woodward. But what is your reaction to Manchester United? Because I was very, very shocked that they were one of the ones signing up.
Wow. Them and Real Madrid are the two instigators, are the ones that drew up the plans and got the other teams involved. This has been going on for a while, and I'll tell you why they dropped it last night. Because today, UEFA have announced the new Champions League.
Yeah.
But the new Champions League format, which in my opinion, looks crazy as well. It's adding more games. It looks crazy. They've done that to counterbalance that, if you know what I mean. I think if UEFA were going to announce this at the end of the season, I don't think we would have heard about this to the end of the season. I think they knew there would be fan backlash, but they're determined. They're going to push this through. They know there's going to be protests. Obviously, the protests taking the flags off the cup. I don't think we're going to win this protest like we did with the season tickets prices. The money that's been, and the last guy was spot on because I've done my homework and the infrastructure changes for COVID is 3.5 billion. Then they're getting 4 billion for the infrastructure as a founder for the new league. That's before they get TV payments from when they do the TV rights, which I'm hearing each club is allowed to sell its own TV rights, which is what these clubs have wanted for a long time. The only thing I feel sorry for, I've accepted it. I'm a bit negative towards our fan base, like rejecting it, because I think you can reject as much as you want. In 3 years' time, we're all going to love it, and it's going to be norm. I love the European Cup. It's been devalued, as the FA Cup has. And you know me, I've been saying this on your channel, everyone's channel. I remember when the FA Cup was bigger than the Champions League. Now now because top four is more important, it's not. I've seen many changes. This is why I know this one will happen. Poor timing, yes, but I think they were forced into it. I think there was a leak on Saturday, am I right, as well? That's probably may have forced their hand. There was a leak.
Yeah, I did hear something about that.
There was a leak and they didn't really want it to dwell over a period of time. I think they're going to make statements and then go behind closed doors for a few months. Let the bombs hit them. You know what I mean? The money in this is too much. And I understand it. I'm going to accept it, and I'm going to back the team. I will back Liverpool, whatever competition they're in. There's no way they're going to be kicked out of the Premier League. Everyone is going mad about that. That is just utter tough. There's no way the Premier League can sell TV rights without the Big Six in it. And same as La Liga can't sell TV rights without Barcelona and Real Madrid. You literally wouldn't get half the money you're getting now. And the clubs know this. The clubs know this. And the Premier League, yesterday we're going to ban you, we're going to do this. Today, they want to talk to them. Already, it's changing. Because they actually nobody thought it was real, even the Premier League. And then today, with these people leaving their UEFA posts and whatever, it's real now. It's real. It's going forward. We need to see the platform and what's happening and how they're going to share the money out to the lower league teams in Europe. Because there is a thing in there where they're going to share some money out. Now, if that's right and it saves all the clubs from going bust, it's better than the current system. Because the current system, clubs are going bust.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
we've always argued UEFA are corrupt and take money out the game.
Yeah. And look what's happened. Look what's happened.
Look what happens. I'd rather the money go to the clubs than not. But the only thing is, my last point, Doug, is I do feel sorry for teams like Leicester, who are better than half the teams in this league.
Yeah.
And I cannot believe Rangers or Celtic have not been invited.
Yeah, I'm amazed.
They are
I'm amazed at that.
massive clubs. Massive clubs.
Yeah. And yet they haven't been invited. Mickey, absolute pleasure to speak to you as always. And take care, and I'll speak to you soon, mate. Cheers.
Yeah, see you in a bit. Drop.
See you in a bit. Take care. Ta-ra. Right. Let's get somebody else on now. We will get on a Manchester United fan.
Hello.
Reagan, how are you doing?
Okay.
I'm just absolutely shocked, my friend.
Yeah, my emotions have sort of raged between rage and sadness in the last 24 hours, really, to be honest with you. I mean, I've got to disagree with Mickey. To be fair to him, made quite an eloquent statement there. But I've got to disagree when he draws comparisons between, obviously, the Super League and the Premier League in the form. The Premier League didn't disrupt the football pyramid in any way. The biggest change on the Premier League was actually the amount of televised games, which was obviously a big issue. A lot of people didn't like the fact that not all games would be Saturday 3 p.m. But there's three issues for me that I'm going to come on to. First one, competition. Yep. Competitiveness. In this Super League format, from what I've read so far, there's 12 teams can't be promoted or relegated, whatever. They're guaranteed a spot in it. And then is it 6 other teams that want to get in who can go up and down between the leagues?
Yeah.
Right. So 12 teams, including teams like Arsenal, who've not qualified for the Champions League in 4 years. They're guaranteed a spot. And Tim Pot Tottenham. I mean, you know my thoughts on Tottenham, Douglas. I think they're an embarrassment of a football club, to be honest with you. They've not won the Premier League in 30 years of the competition. They've never won the European Cup before. And now they're suddenly guaranteed a spot in what's going to be Europe's elite cup competition. Second thing, finance. I mean, the finances of the clubs in the lower leagues, and I don't just mean non-league, I mean Championship, League 1, League 2, them clubs are struggling enough as it is. They've been helped massively by rescue packages they've received from the Premier League. Now, if it weren't for the top 6 clubs, so if they are kicked out of the Premier League or they leave, whatever, the revenue the Premier League generates will be a pittance of what it is now. So, especially without fans selling out stadiums at the minute, God knows what's going to happen to some of the clubs lower down the leagues if this goes ahead. And the most important thing, in Old Trafford, there's a banner that says football is nothing without fans. I'm not going to swear on your channel, to be fair, Douglas, but liars.
Yeah.
Fans,
yeah.
Fans are going to suffer the most. These American owners, Asian owners, wherever they're from, they don't give a beep about the fans. Just think
100%.
about, it doesn't have to be local fans. Fans of any club who, these big clubs who go home and away, all up and down the country, work hard all week, 40, 50, 60 hours, just so on a Saturday afternoon they can spend every last penny of their income to go and follow their local club. How much is it going to cost now to go all around Europe? And not just Europe, let's be clear. These games, for instance, Real Madrid, Barcelona, that's not just going to be in Madrid or Barcelona. It'll be played in Abu Dhabi, New York, Las Vegas, Saudi Arabia, everywhere. Whatever's going to put the most money into it. So, sum up, really, it's rest in peace, football fans.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, when news broke last night, what was your reaction to it?
At first, it's sort of one of them things where you kind of dismiss it because, there's been rumours about something like this for years. And it's one of them things you think, it never happened though, will it? And then you actually look online and you see the reaction and you see some of the statements that are coming out and, the blue tick journalists are tweeting about it and you're right, okay, this is actually happening. And obviously, as we were waiting for the statement that was meant to come out at 9:30, I think it ended up coming out about midnight, isn't it? And you wake up this morning, you're like, wow, it is real. It's actually happening. And I'm just hoping and praying that we can stop it in its tracks. But to be honest with you, when you're reading that each club involved is getting between a 250 million to 350 million welcome bonus, how is it going to be stopped? How can we compete with money like that? We can't, surely. I don't see any feasible way in which this is stopped now.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be very, very interesting. And I think the one thing I will feel sorry for is the smaller clubs, because the fact that these greedy six, whatever you call them. I mean, we've got a game against Leeds United tonight. That's irrelevant now to me, completely irrelevant.
Do you know what? I was going to watch that. I thought Leeds Liverpool, that'll be a decent game. I'll tune into that. I've just got no interest now, because what does it mean? If I was Leeds, I'd stand aside and just let Liverpool keep scoring, so it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Bielsa famously let Aston Villa score a goal because Leeds scored a goal unwillingly. So, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen tonight, but tonight it's absolutely meaningless. Absolutely meaningless game. And you know what? Like next week's game against Newcastle, there's going to be a massive protest as well. So that's going to be really interesting as well. But Reagan, I really do appreciate you coming on, my friend, and I'll speak to you soon, my friend.
No problem, mate. All the best.
All the best. Take care. Cheers. Right, let's go and get somebody else on. We have... I'll bring in two. We have Mr. Jersey Boy, and we've also got an Arsenal fan in Liviu. I think I pronounced that right. Jersey Boy, how are you?
God, it's been a while, mate.
It has. What's your immediate reaction?
So obviously I was live with Ryan last night from 11 o'clock to 4 in the morning. We were live for a long time, covering everything. And for me, I've never been this disgusted. I've honestly disgusted. I've never been this disgusted. And the whole thing was, I was like, okay, Leeds game might mean something. And then I found out that Liverpool resigned from the European Club Association, which basically means we're illegible to be in the Champions League. Basically meaning tonight's game is a friendly. Basically, it's pre-season.
Yeah.
Pre-season tonight. We could lose 15-1. I would not give a crap. Because what does it mean? And there's been breaking news now. The government have had I think today, and they've now said they're looking to ban people in the Big Six in the Super League to be banned from signing overseas players.
Wow.
And
can they legally do that though?
Yeah. It's getting worse. It's getting worse now. And the whole thing about the UEFA person said that they're working tomorrow to ban every player involved in the Super League from the Euros. Now, if that happens, we'll probably see some random country win it, because England will have no players, France will have no players, Germany will have some players, but can you imagine an England team? No Harry Kane, no Rashford, no Sterling. They're going to have to play Ollie Watkins, Cantwell, Pope, and I don't know who played in defence. It's going to be absolutely ridiculous. There's no turning back now, because we're out of the club association now. So there's literally no turning back.
Yeah, it's just absolutely ridiculous. And I'll obviously ask this because the fact that this is going to affect internationals, it's going to affect the Euros, it's going to affect the World Cup. The fact that Keferin has come out and said that all these players that are in the Super League are going to be banned. So how could you see an England or a Scotland being lined up? Because it's going to make it very, very intriguing and interesting.
100%. I've been looking everywhere for news at the moment to see what's going on. Obviously, we had the club association stuff. Then we've had the fact that this is a bit worrying for me personally. So tomorrow morning, every single club except us, the six, will be having a meeting tomorrow. if 14 clubs go, no, we can't stand for this, the Premier League might should go, okay, well, no, you can get out. I don't know how that would work because I don't know who will get promoted and replace us. But I cannot support a club that's not in the Premier League. I supported a club that's in England and plays in the Champions League or Europa League or whatever. Yeah. Not a club that will play Man United every once a month in Doha and then rainy night in Doha.
Yeah, I know. It's just one of those things that's gonna, we'll see what happens, but it just cries out greed. It cries out money grabbing. It's just ridiculous.
Douglas, are you FSG in? Are you 100% FSG out yesterday?
100%, yeah. After yesterday,
last night I was like, okay, I'll wait till the summer. But when this happened, I was like, oh, you pieces of. I got so angry. I was like, John W. Henry needs to go back to his crappy baseball team and stay there. They do not work well with football. They need to go do what they do best in baseball or whatever. Brooks says, come on, guys, I only decided to watch Man United Man City live in Abu Dhabi at 2:45 in the morning. Hell no. I won't watch that.
No, definitely not. Not for me. Not for me anyway. Not for me. I'm going to get the guys from the Near Post podcast on because I've just seen that they're in the chat. Yeah, Irish boys as well. So that's always a good thing.
How are you, Doug? What's the story, lads? How are you?
Dermot, how are you? What is your reaction to this?
Yeah, obviously me and Peter done stream last night, but we were kind of talking about it like this might happen in 3 or 4 years. Then 2-3 hours later, bang, the clubs have signed. It's a joke, lads. It's like I thought I'd never say this, but I hope Leeds batter us tonight. Who cares? What's this game tonight? Like, why is this game even going ahead?
I mean, as Jersey Boy said, it's a friendly, isn't it?
It's pre-season. Get ready for whatever's happening next season. And the thing is, crazy. They said they want the Super League to start in August. So, let's say no Champions League or whatever, because that's probably what's going to happen, and no Premier League. Because for me, I can't see the Premier League allowing us to stay in the Premier League if we've just gone behind everyone's backs and done this competition. And, there's all these people like in the quotes by the UEFA president calling the Juventus chairman an absolute rat, like a snake. So this is actually war on football. And in my opinion, like M5 says, this competition could work. It's something that could work in the future. But for me, it's not about the competition. It's the fact that they're behind everyone's backs. No fans were told. We've forgot this competition European Super qualifiers. We're in real trouble. Literally tomorrow, we could get a tweet saying the Premier League have decided for the 2021 season to remove all the top 6 from the Premier League.
Yeah, we've got Olivia, an Arsenal fan here. How are you, Olivia? What's your reaction to this as an Arsenal fan?
I don't really know what to say because I'm just speechless of what I'm hearing from all around the internet. It's really not fair, and I mean, it's a joke.
Yeah, it is. I mean, but the one thing I will say from this, and it is something that we have to announce. This isn't the Liverpool I grew up supporting.
Yeah.
This isn't the the Liverpool that someone said to me last night, built by Shanks, destroyed by money grabbing Yanks, and yes, you can say that FSG saved us from the brink of relegation, from the brink of liquidation and all that, but they have made some very, very bad mistakes as Liverpool owners. £77, remember that £77 walkout at Anfield against Sunderland, remember that? Absolutely ridiculous.
Doug, on that, you know what's going to happen when fans go back, didn't you?
War. gonna be World War III.
Let me tell you, I already know this is in place. They're going to blame COVID, and they're going to say we cannot afford to not have the £77 ticket for the club to carry on and be viable. They already are going to use COVID as a excuse to raise prices, and that's going to happen.
Yeah,
They're gonna do it. Just quickly, I've just got some news now, which is really interesting.
Okay.
The UFA Studio community member and head of Danish FA, Jesper Moller, says he expects Chelsea, Madrid, Man City, Arsenal, and United to be removed from this season's Champions League and Europa League on Friday.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
Friday, we could see PSG being crowned champions, and Roma versus Villarreal.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just on the.
They're not taking
Emery
the
back again.
Yeah.
I expect UEFA to do something big, but the Premier League, I guarantee you now, will not get rid of their 6 biggest assets. It would
The
destroy.
falling line.
Yeah.
I agree.
And the
I think
clubs are
therefore
that
they're not
powerful.
Premier League.
They know this. They know they're going to be in the leagues. Even Real Madrid know La Liga wouldn't dare get rid of them in Barcelona. Juventus and the two Milans know that the Italian league would never, ever get rid of them. This is what the clubs have become that powerful. They will dictate. The only one that will fight to the death is UEFA, because they are the ones that plan to lose the most.
But
Exactly.
like,
100% agree with you.
we seen with remember City were supposed to get this 2-year Champions League ban. What happens? Oh, it might be 1 year. A few months later, nah, that's gone. You seen the memes of the 20 lawyers walking with the owner, the sheik or whatever, walking into the courtroom, and it's like Man City are more powerful than UEFA. I think that just summed it up. They were never going to lose that. I think they got a slap on the wrist. No, I wouldn't even call it a slap on the wrist. What did they get? Like a 50k fine, something stupid.
Yeah.
50k fine.
It's a joke.
A youth team player's wages.
But like, exactly. Just Liverpool though, it is kind of sickening, and we kind of all thought this about the owners, about FSG, the way they've acted. I think Klopp has just masked them for so long, lads. How well he's done.
Yeah.
I have a
just
feeling he's
masked
going to
them.
walk, lads. I have a feeling he's going to walk.
Yeah,
I
I
hope
think
he does.
I would support him if he did go. Liviu, just very, very quickly, are you Kroenke out now after what's happened?
I was Kroenke out a long time. That man should have left a long time ago. I don't know why he's still here. He's ruined us as a football club.
Guys, these owners own these clubs, and no one is going to pay the money they want to get rid of them.
You know what I don't get?
We have got these people for a very, very long time until someone... let me tell you, once this league starts, these clubs won't be worth £1 billion. They'll be worth £4-5 billion. Who's going to buy them?
When this league starts, no one's going to watch them. Who's going to watch this league? Tell me.
As I said earlier...
Oh, people will watch. They have the viewers.
It will become bigger than ever. It will be the biggest thing ever. In 3 years' time, we'll all forget this, and we'll all be plowing money into it. We'll all be, whoever gets the TV rights, we'll all be subscribing to that. You know what I mean? And there's rumours Netflix might be having the rights. So
Amazon Prime or something.
Yeah.
Just Doug, just before I have to hop off now, just before I go, like it's called the Super League. Obviously, you're Scottish, like it's Super League. Surely Rangers, Celtic, these clubs, they're bigger clubs. They're bigger clubs than Spurs. Why is Spurs? Why the fuck is just for example?
Mid-table team.
Exactly. There you go.
Exactly.
Leicester won the Premier League more recently than Arsenal and Tottenham. They don't even get a look in. It's just timing and stuff. But yeah, it's a joke, lads. Here, Doug, thanks for having me on. I have to bounce. See you later, lads.
Absolute pleasure, Dermot. Take care, my friend.
See you.
Take care.
Yeah, Doug, on that, we need to talk
get?
about Celtic and Rangers. You need to get that going because this is a thing. If it's going to happen, one of them needs to be in it.
Yeah. Livia, what were you going to say there?
Doug, do you know what I don't get? You know, teams like Bayern Munich, Porto, and Leipzig, they all rejected this, and PSG. So why us, as a fan, or let's say the team cannot go to the UEFA and ask them, can we not just be in this competition? Can they don't have the guts or something? I don't get it. Seriously, I don't get it.
It's because they're owned by fans and we're owned by owners, and that's the difference.
Yeah,
German clubs are owned by fans.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's just one of these things, and we're just let's just hope that it falls through, because I think everyone wants this to fall through. But Mickey, Liviu, and Jersey Boy, thank you very much for coming onto the stream, and I will speak to you all in a bit. Thank you very much.
See you, dog.
Take care. Take care. Right, we're going to get a Chelsea fan on now.
Hi,
hello. How are you?
Not too bad, yourself?
I'm not too bad. You're a Chelsea fan. What's your reaction to this news?
Partially. I kind of wanted to just say, I'm here on behalf of the ETH lads for Douglas. We're kind of a bit of like a fan group of yours. But I just wanted to kind of wondered if I could pose a couple of questions as well. Just I feel like a lot of things have been going over. I don't want to just put out the same opinions as everyone else. Not necessarily my own opinions, but just want to put a couple of things to you, get your thoughts. But yeah, I mean, firstly, as a Chelsea fan, it's disappointing. I love the Champions League. We've had a great time in it in the last 10, 15 years. So, but I just wondered, has anyone started to think about maybe possible benefits of the Super League in the long run?
No. I honestly just want this thing to collapse, in all honesty.
A lot of people do. What do you think as well? I think there's maybe a development towards this point over the last, maybe since the Premier League era, I would say, actually, with, Premier League having such a wide spread over the world, with a lot of people that maybe don't necessarily live or are in the communities of these clubs, yourself included as a Liverpool fan, but in Scotland. Do you think that that's maybe something that's kind of moved this along? Do you think people should be supporting their local clubs more?
I mean, I've got Livingston to fall back on, but you're right. I think
does LFC stand for Livingston or Liverpool for you, Doug?
Good question. It's always going to be Liverpool because they're the bigger club. But I've been through the mill with Livingston Football Club. I can say this now. Livingston have been almost bankrupt 3 times, and I know how I feel for all these smaller clubs. Seeing these 6 Premier League clubs go to a Super League, and this is what really, really upsets and angers me. It's the fact that they've taken advantage of this in a global pandemic, when people are suffering, people are dying, people are losing jobs, and for goodness sake, Arsenal got rid of their blooming mascot. They got rid of their mascot. We almost furloughed our staff. Spurs furloughed their staff, and now we're basically joining this Super League. It just doesn't sit right with me.
Would you think David Martindale thinks Livingston maybe got a shot at getting in the Super League any day?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. I will take top flight survival any day of the week. Any day of the week.
I think there's an interesting conversation to be had at some point. I think I've got a feeling this won't go through. I do think that, but because obviously American sports is so different and detached from European sports with their franchise system and the commerciality of it. But is it almost an inevitability that this is what's going to happen?
It does feel like that. It definitely does feel like that.
Yeah. What do you think about maybe from the kind of mid-table clubs mid-floor clubs, like Newcastle? Maybe we could get some thoughts from other people in the Newcastle community on this.
Yeah, I mean they were almost taken over by Saudis, weren't they? They were almost taken over by Saudis. But this is what I said on another stream that I was on. I think it was last night. I said this is like another Chinese Super League. Just people care about money. It just all cares about money, and the wages, and the money now in football is going to be absolutely astronomical. That these clubs, in the Premier League, in the Serie A, in La Liga, they're just not going to be able to compete. And the fact is that we've had Borussia Dortmund and Bayern Munich both come out and say that they do not want to join. Kind of shows that those German clubs know about their fans. Unfortunately, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester United, Manchester City, and now Tottenham do not care about the fans. One question I will ask you first. What did you make of Jose Mourinho being sacked today?
Me? I think it was inevitable. I know there was a lot of people, and I think maybe yourself had seen on your Twitter, Doug, that there was people trying to say that he was grandstanding because he doesn't agree with the Super League. That's a lot of rubbish. There's no way that's true. He was getting sacked anyway. I do think it's bad timing from Levy, though. I think he should have been left in for the final. The final they've got this weekend. Whether they'll win that or not, that's kind of up for grabs. But it's a shame, obviously, as a Chelsea fan, I've got a bit of a connection to the guy, but I don't think he is what he was back then. That's for sure.
All right. Well, I do really appreciate you coming on, and we'll get you back on very, very soon. Thank you for coming on.
Cool. Can I just get one more thing? There's been a thing going through the community at the moment. I'd seen it on Twitter where, the Iceland thunderclap. We're doing it to say no to the Super League. So can we all just do one big thunderclap? Doug?
Yeah, absolutely.
3, 2, 1.
Absolutely. No. Definitely not. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you soon. Thank you.
Doug. Love you. Bye.
Cheers. See you later. Bye-bye. Mickey, I'm going to let you go, okay?
Yeah, he made some great points, though.
He did make some very good points. Did some very good points. But
yes, and on the Mourinho one, for a go, I believe Spurs sacked him today to deflect some of the anger they're going to get from the Super League.
Yeah. I think so as well. Mickey, have a great evening, and I'll speak to you soon, okay?
I'll see you after the match later, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. See you later.
The friendly.
Yeah, the friendly indeed. See you later.
Yeah.
Take care.
Everyone subscribe to Doug. He's great.
Thank you very much. See you later. Right, let's get that. So we now have, let me think, we have Connor, Yank talking smack. How are you doing, my friend?
I could be a lot better, I'll tell you that. Great to finally be able to get a chance to join your channel after, talking to you on Twitter for so long, of course, about everything Scotland, because we talk about it, domestic clubs. It get a little too deep, so staying with the stuff that doesn't. But no, as you can see, I got my Scotland top on because I'm just too disgusted to wear anything United. And
yeah, I'm the same. I'm too disgusted to wear anything Liverpool right now. I really am.
And it's I get it. Everybody knows it's not that we're just now finding out it's about money, but it's the point that we're finding out that money is affecting the game this much to where they're trying to ruin everything that's been in place for decades.
Yeah.
Liverpool and United are two of the biggest when it comes to history in the game of football. United and Liverpool have two of the biggest histories in world sports.
Yeah.
Not even just for soccer. When you talk about any other major sport as well, how long and how prestigious both clubs are goes back generations for both of these clubs. Both clubs come from very small things. We come from a bunch of workers who decided they loved the game of soccer and wanted to play it more and play it together and play it for fun. I'm not 100% on Liverpool, but I think Liverpool is basically the exact same kind of thing. It came from just a bunch of workers. It wasn't some big, we're all rich, let's use this as a form of entertainment. This was, we're poor, but we love the game, so let's play. And that's what the game should be like. And having this kind of farce of a Super League is ridiculous. For me, I get that it's not, when the Glazers and FSG leave, that's great. I'll probably come back. But for right now, I'm abandoning the club because it's if I show any support, if I put any of my money towards this club, it's just showing them that they can get away with this crap. It's not, there's no punishment.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm the same. I will always support Liverpool. I think everyone can, obviously say, I'll always support Liverpool. I'm not changing teams. I've always been Livingston fan as well, and I'm not changing Liverpool. I'm not changing Liverpool. So, I will support them through thick and thin. But I'm just not happy at the way this has come out. And the fact is that, again, I said a couple of minutes ago. The fact that people have taken advantage of a pandemic to get this across as well. When you think that Liverpool almost furloughed their staff, and because of a big backlash, that they actually backtracked on that. Arsenal have let go of their mascot. Yeah, absolutely, and they furloughed a lot of staff as well. So
it took freaking Ozil to keep that mascot on, and then they were like, "Oh, let's ship him off to fucking Turkey."
Yeah. It's mad. It's absolutely mad. But
have you seen that there apparently are talks about the English FA or the UEFA coming and actually setting the guideline? They're going to be making the 50+1 rule having to happen in the Premier League as well, where all Premier League owners will lose however much stake it takes until the 50+1 rule is true for every single Premier League club.
Wow,
they're trying to go off the German model and have basically come out and said, yeah, we're going to be trying to do the 50+1 rule in the Premier League as well, because I think UEFA sees that the people that are in UEFA sees the clubs that are running the 50+1 rule, the German teams, all said no. PSG has enough money. They have their Saudi owners that, they have enough money to where they don't have to do anything. And they have Kylian Mbappe and Neymar and all that stuff. They don't need to really join a Super League. It's greedy bastards like, and it sucks because I'm American. So this is coming from an American fan as well. I'm the same nationality as these fucks.
Mm-hmm.
It was like when freaking Trump went into office. It's a disgrace to be able to say that I have to claim the same nationality as them and I'm from the same area as them. But
yeah. What do you make of this? Woodward Man United fans last Friday at a fans meeting and completely lied to their faces.
I'm not surprised. I mean, what it's shown is every owner and every person that is a part of this are absolutely a disgrace. We saw it. Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel bad. The UEFA president, Agnelli's the godfather of the UEFA president's daughter, and lied to his face.
Yeah,
for years.
It's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
This would not happen while at the same time still talking to the other clubs and making this a thing.
Yeah. What do you make of the fact that Alexander Kefren has come out and said that the players of the Super League clubs will not be playing for their countries and will be banned from the internationals, the Euros, and the World Cup? What do you make of that?
I can understand where they're coming from. I think they're kind of speaking out of anger, and I don't think that's the best way to go. This isn't just because, as a Scotland fan, we lose Scott McTominay and Kieran Tierney and Andrew Robertson, and that's three of our best players out of the Scottish team. And as an American, we lose Pulisic, and we lose our goalkeeper Zach Steffen. So, and then and from Juventus, we lose Weston McKennie. So we lose, big players from all of them. But at the same time, it is not up to these players. As we've seen, the players were not even told. The players and the managers for every single club, whether it's Klopp and Ole, whether it's the United players and Liverpool players, were not informed that this was happening. And didn't agree to having this happen. We've seen Bruno Fernandes just came out and said you can't buy football and has come out against it as a player for a team that's going into it. I think punishing players for something they had no control over when this is a owner-controlled and owner-funded league completely, punishing the players who, most players, even you and me, our dream as a soccer player is to represent our national team and be able to play for our country. And to be able to take something like that away when you had no control over what happened that caused you to not be able to play any longer, I just don't agree with it. I agree definitely with kicking them out of all UEFA competitions, which sucks for me because United's about to win the fucking Europa League.
Yeah.
We're about to win a trophy for the first time in 3 years. And I am okay with us being kicked out of this year's Europa League as punishment and losing out on the one title we had a chance at winning.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to let people know who are just coming on, the proposed format: the league will have 20 teams, the 12 founding members plus the 3 unnamed clubs they expect to join soon, and 5 sides who qualify annually according to their domestic achievements. Under the proposals, the East SL campaign would start in August each year with midweek fixtures, and the clubs would be split into 2 groups of 10, playing each other home and away. The top 3 in each group would qualify for the quarterfinals, with the teams in 4th and 5th playing a 2-legged playoff for the 2 remaining spots. From then on, it would have the same 2-leg knockout format using the Champions League before a single-leg final in May at a neutral venue. The East SL said it would generate more money than the Champions League and would result in a greater distribution of revenue throughout the game. Okay, when I read that, are you excited about the prospect of facing a Barcelona, a Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid 2 times in this thing? It doesn't excite me one bit.
Can I be honest with you? Absolutely fucking not. Because here's the point. The whole point of football, and I said this yesterday when I was on Rich Sports Streams, go check out his channel as well. He's the guy who got me my start in this thing, so I owe pretty much everything about my channel and everything to that guy. He's been an absolute phenomenal person. Yeah. I said with him, the game of football, the romanticism of football is that you can get teams that aren't good to beat teams that are. We saw it with a team, my head's blanking. I'm sorry. It's still morning time for me here in America. It's 10 o'clock, so I'm still waking up slowly. But, we've had teams that have been relegated in the same season they won the FA Cup. If that's not, rising from the ashes and winning when you're not supposed to, I don't know what's a better example. I mean, having a team, the romanticism of football is a team like Birmingham City going into the FA Cup and beating a team like Man City. It's a team like Salford City going up and beating a team like Tottenham. It's the romanticism of seeing teams that are nowhere near the top beating these giants. And if we create this Super League, then it not only it kills the whole David and Goliath that has been around since the beginning of time, because they're both giants. One may be a bigger giant than the other, but they're both giants. And eventually we're going to get bored. It's going to be the same players playing the same teams with the same tactics over and over and over again. It's going to get boring. It'll feel like Burnley and United for me because it's the same shit every single time we play them.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting. I think the one thing that is to definitely tune into is Monday Night Football. I think Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher are going to just completely destroy this, and I'm looking forward to watching it for sure.
Yeah, no, CB. Actually, Bruno just came out on his Instagram and has basically said that money cannot buy anything, and we have players that have come out that are against it. I think making it to where you have to terminate your contract, I don't think that's what's going to happen, mainly because of greed. If they have to terminate their contract to leave the club, then they don't get to have any money for the transfer fee.
Yeah, absolutely.
These big name players that are like, no, I want to leave. Yeah. And they're going to terminate their contract when you could have been getting tens of millions for them if you would have just let them be transferred out. So I think that it'll be still where they have transfers in and out of the clubs, because if they're this greedy to do this and make a Super League, then they're not going to be greedy enough to also want to still do transfers where they're going to make money if any player wants to leave. Which, if I'm a player for any of these clubs, even if it is my boyhood club, United has been my club for over a decade. I love this club to bits. If I'm a United player right now, I'm asking for my release. I'm asking for it to be transferred. I'm done. I'm out. If this goes through, I'm asking to be let go.
Yeah. Absolutely. The fact is that they're now talking about, being disqualified from the obviously the Champions League, but the Premier League is going to be so weird watching that next season without Arsenal, without Chelsea, without Manchester United, without Liverpool, without Man City, without Tottenham. It's just going to be very, very weird, and I just can't envisage a Premier League season without those big six.
Yeah, no. Next year, I said they'll probably be supporting Burnley and Watford. Because I follow the Cycling GK on YouTube and love watching his videos. Ben Foster of him being the goalie from Watford.
Ben Foster, great goalkeeper.
Absolutely.
Great goalkeeper.
He's a lovely human being as well. Absolutely,
he is.
But also, Burnley, because I'm like, they're our bogey team. Might as well root for them now that they're gone. now that we're gone and they're the only team left. Because, and Box, I don't know, they might promote 9 teams, but at the same time, we'll have to see what happens, whether they just promote the top 9 teams from this year's championship. What happens then is it disrupts the entire it's another romanticism of the game. Top 2 teams get automatic promotion, and then everybody else fights for that 3rd spot. Yeah. That's the romantic part of this game. Is not barely anybody gets to go up every year. Only 3 teams, not 9, not 6. Only 3 teams go up, and having to fight all year to be in that 2nd spot or in that 1st spot, and then having all 9 teams automatically get promotion ruins it completely. And then the balance of everything is off, because you have the 9 teams going up to the Premier League from the Championship. Well, now you need 9 teams from League One to go up to the Championship to fill it. But now you need 9 teams from League One to go up, and now you need 9 teams from League Two to go up, and now you need the non-leagues to move up. And that might be great for like the non-leagues and stuff like that, who could use that new income of money being in a higher league, but they might not be able to handle it. They might bankrupt those who cannot travel to go to those different teams, because we have to remember a lot of times these teams in non-league play, and they're only literally playing local teams. They're playing teams around them. That's why non-league is split into so many different sections. But now you're making them a League Two team, and they're needing to come up with the money to now go from the top of England all the way down to the southern tip for a game. And then all the way back up. And they can't afford it like a lot of these teams can.
Yeah, that Cardiff City fan, unfortunately, I'm only accepting plus 18s to come on here. But if you want to leave your thoughts, then that's absolutely fine. I just don't want to get in trouble with YouTube, etc. So I hope that kind of says things. But yeah, if anybody else wants to come on, I'm only going to go for another probably 15-20 minutes as well. And yeah, Connor, I really do appreciate you coming on, and especially it being 10 o'clock over there in America. But
we get a lot of stick here in America, but I'm up really early for games, man. You guys have your games? Are your guys' mid-afternoon games? The 12:30 start times are 4 a.m. for me, and I still haven't missed a single game in the last 3 years that United have played.
Wow,
so we get a lot of
good
stick.
Going.
We get a lot of stick, but I'm up early for every single game, because even the later games start at 12:10 in the morning. Our game our Burnley game yesterday was 8:05 start time in the morning.
8:05.
Yeah.
Wow.
You don't get to sleep. If you're a European fan and you live in America, you don't sleep in. You're up pretty early.
Yeah, that is absolutely mental. That, but you know what? Fair dues, and you have to say that. As you say, Americans are very, very good with these kind of things, and wow, that's amazing. I don't think I could get up at that time to watch a footy game.
I'm having my love thrown back in my face by my club, and it's it hurts.
Yeah, it must do, but this just feels very, very weird right now, and I honestly, it's sad. It really is. It really is sad.
I don't get Sky or BT. I wish I did, because that means I would be able to watch shit. But I live off of illegal live streams and everything else. Yeah,
absolutely. Sutherland Sportscast is in. I've just noticed that. Andrew, if you want to come on, then just get in the description and get on the link as well. As I said, I'm not going to be on for too much longer. But Connor, thank you very, very much for coming on. I'm sure I'll see you on Rich Sports Channel later on.
I'll be on the Blue Podcast as well. Go check them out. I'll be on their channel at, I think we just switched it to 9 p.m. your guys' time.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much.
I have to put myself 8 hours forward for you guys, because 9 p.m. UK time is 1 in the afternoon for me.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much, Connor, and I'll speak to you soon, my friend.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks for having me on, Doug.
Pleasure. See you later. Later. Right, we are going to have, we have now 2 Liverpool fans. First off, Jack Mack, and secondly, for the first time ever, Cian Dolan. So, Jack, how are you doing after all this nonsense?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for letting me come on, mate. I think my voice is going to be gone by the end of tonight. Anyway. But yeah, it's very disappointing, isn't it, mate? All the guests, and I'm sure Cian will speak very passionately as well. The footballing world has been rocked by the decisions of people at the top of the European game, people in charge of these football clubs. Football was going in this direction for a very long time. It's just hit a point now where it's really taken away from the love and passion of a football club, especially Liverpool. Doesn't correlate really to or align with the pillars in which made Liverpool Football Club the club in which it was. Working class Shankly will be very disappointed, and I know
he'll be turning in his grave, mate. He'll be turning in his grave, and alongside Matt Busby as well. I think Jock Stein as well.
And Bobby Robson, great managers. That have really demanded. Even Wenger as well, and Ferguson, managers that they expected change and they helped change football in good aspects. I think, but there's not a lot of leadership really from the top of these big clubs.
Yeah, Cian, good afternoon. How are you? What's your reaction to this?
No, just fed up. I mean, football was never perfect, certainly not in my lifetime. But I liked it the way it was. I might be a bit behind. Sorry if I'm.
No, it's all right. It's all right.
Yeah.
I just can't envisage a Premier League season like that.
No,
I just honestly can't imagine it. We've got somebody else coming on as well. It is Mr. Reese Russell. Good evening, Reese. What is your reaction as a Manchester United fan?
I think the words "fucking living," mate, come to mind as a football fan. As a football fan, not just a Man United fan, I'm fucking disgusted, mate. Like, if I honestly, there's a few football clubs that I'm affiliated with that I've already decided to join the Super League. You know both of them. If I see Rangers join the Super League, I'm done with football.
I'm feeling
that's how sick I am.
Different emotions right now. I'm not sure whether to be angry or.
We need to. I think the next couple of hours are very key. I think in the coming days we'll find a lot more as the news does trickle through. We don't know the full extent of what everything is, every aspect of the deal or potential deal. Hopefully it's no deal, really. But I think the needs, as Gary Neville spoken about him yesterday, he's a man, but one of the very first things he said I can agree with, but it hit the nail on the head last night when he said on Sky Sports. So it will be interesting tonight, everyone. Tune into, obviously, if you haven't got, but it will be on YouTube and everything after the videos. Carragher, and I honestly hope Carragher and Gary do go and take these clubs on a national stage, on television, and ask the hard questions. Yes, I know the managers and Tuchel and Jurgen have come out and said that the contracted, they can't really say not on the contract about these clubs, but and it's a weird situation. It's fuming.
There's no transparency, and the worst thing is as well is there's clubs that have been lying to their players. Woodward held an emergency meeting this morning with the club's players because they found out everything last night, and they are completely furious. The Glazers and Woodward have been outed with JP Morgan as the primary front runners, masking Andrea Agnelli as well. So frankly, they're even worse. Like Man United are officially the worst club in this. And everyone was saying, "Oh, it's Juventus." I was believing it was Juventus because Agnelli's fronted the Super League for years. But the fact that it's now came from Man United, I'm absolutely disgusted. So what bothers me now is where we go forward, because there's so many clubs that are going to take advantage of this. And the worst thing as well is they say they're going to put the money towards grassroots. What a load of bollocks! Like that 300 million that they're going to get each club, they're going to keep that. There's no way they're going to put like 10% or whatever towards grassroots. You can forget it. If you're a fan of grassroots football, if the Super League goes through, it's dead.
It was hard enough to get did you see this season? It was hard enough to try and get 1.5 million just for the package for the lower league teams off these Premier League sides.
Where are they going to get 300 million from? Where are they going to get this from? Like, where are they going to get the 300 million for? Because it's honestly, it's ridiculous. Like, and I can speak for myself, like, as a Man United fan, I've got like the worst ownership in football. It's not even a debate. Like, the Glazers are the worst owners in football, and this for them is the ultimate. They've already milked Man United dry of billions. Now they're going to get to the point where United can go and play in the Premier League. They can go and play in the Super League. There's an extra 500-600 billion. Because frankly, United will make more money. It'll be like United generate around about 636 million a year. And you're going to get 300 million. So that's nearly 1 billion from two competitions, plus the Premier League. So that, like, frankly, the amount of money they're going to generate alone, frankly, they could put United into further debt and still keep going. It's disgusting. And it is. Like, I hate this so much.
Absolutely is. And, on that about the Glazers, like, Joe Glazer, I think, said a couple of years ago that he didn't know the offside rule. So why are these guys in charge of football clubs? Like, honestly, I haven't actually heard Joe Glazer come out with any sort of statement until last night, and actually say, like, about that, like, the Super League is going to be absolutely, fantastic, but this is the thing. We're becoming football franchises. We're not becoming football clubs anymore. And I don't know about you, Jack, and I don't know about you, Cian, but tonight's game against Leeds United is completely irrelevant now.
Yeah.
I couldn't care less if we shipped 40 own goals. Alisson keeps dropping the ball every time.
Whoops, you know what should happen? Leeds United should sit down. The minute that whistle goes, Leeds United players should just sit on their arses.
Yeah,
there's no. And I hate Leeds. I hate Leeds just as much as Liverpool, but frankly, Leeds have got no point being there now. They may as well just sit down. And I can understand the comments. People are saying Mike Ashley's a horrible owner. Stan Kroenke's a horrible owner. That is correct. But I'm sorry. The Glazers are worse than Kroenke and Mike Ashley. The fact that Man United were not in debt. The United were not in debt prior to the Glazers getting in. And he put them 1 billion in debt. I'm
going to say this now. Since last night, I am now FSG out. I was not FSG out until last.
You should have been FSG out a year and a half ago, frankly, because it was all creeping in. It's creeping in, and
all the owners that have bought all of our clubs. It's not. It's every fan around the world. It's our passion. We love these football clubs, whether they were playing in League One, League Two. The confidence would be exactly the same. It's okay to think narrow-minded and think about your club. Everyone's entitled to their opinions, but for me personally, I've got to.
It can't be anymore.
Yeah, you've got to think of other clubs. Look at Betty. Look at teams that have just disappeared. People's livelihoods. People rely on these teams psychologically, mentally, as meeting the mates, and it's so sad, really, going forward. But in terms of like the future of the football club, and there needs to be a lot more regulation. But as the lads have mentioned already, so much passion. For me, what is the point? As you've already mentioned, Doug, and what is the point? Unless Leeds score tonight, the players need to make a statement. Is Messi or Ronaldo make a statement? They're probably contracted and they're not allowed to, probably. But it's about.
I think
time.
they can.
Yeah,
I think they are. I think they are legally able to. I think they are legally within it because, frankly, Cristiano Ronaldo, he's already stated. I think he's not going to be at Juventus at the end of the season if they don't qualify for the Champions League.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're not even going to be in the Champions League anyway, so he's going.
Yeah.
Messi's the interesting one.
It's like these players have got such a big audience in themselves, and I think this is where the newer generation of fan is coming from. Over the last couple of years, really, that people support players rather than clubs at the minute. For me, that's not my viewpoint. Everyone's entitled to do whoever they support and that, but it's the new generation, it's scary, but that is the way football is going. And this is like the model in which they're trying to gear it for the next future generation of football, which is sadly, it is.
Yeah.
What I don't get is what I don't understand. Right, is people who are arguing for the Super League. Right, they're saying that it's good for the financial gain and all that. Like, and it's good for the progression of football. Okay, but here's a question: why would you want to be in a competition where? Yes, you're going to make. If you're a founding member, you're going to make 300 million regardless. Wherever you finish, you're never going to get relegated based on performance, as they've said, qualification. But even if you get out, even if you progress from your group stage to get into the knockout rounds, you're not actually winning anything. So frankly, you're better off staying in the Champions League where you actually are winning something. You could easily. UEFA are corrupt anyway, so I'm not going to defend UEFA here. UEFA are corrupt. Everybody knows that.
And the Premier League as well. It's so bad.
Yeah, they're all corrupt. They're all corrupt. If it was more transparent with each other, it would be so much better. But frankly, it's got to the point where clubs are going behind these organisations' backs to ensure financial security and all that. But even if they get all this money, that's going to put them at such a high advantage from other clubs in their own domestic leagues that they're never going to virtually compete with them. It'll be the same top six every year. And that basically takes away the euphoria of the game, the love of the game. It basically says, Leicester are no longer going to be able to compete. And Leicester have been an entertaining side for the past 4 or 5 years. It basically says, well, fuck you. We've got nothing to do with you. Spurs shouldn't even be in this. They're not a big club. They're a fucking minuscule club.
I don't even know how they've got in there.
This is the thing. I said this last night in my Twitter video. Why is Arsenal, Manchester City, Tottenham, and Atletico Madrid in the Super League when they have 0 Champions Leagues? Can anyone answer me that?
I think they still get in based on the fact that they've had an overall conglomerate of success, even if it's not European football. And I see where you're coming from. I would have Sevilla in the conversation based on they've had relative European success over the past, since 2009, I believe, 2008, 2009. They've had relative European success. They've won 5 or 6. So that's a compromise.
We have another guest, and it is my good friend and Leeds United fan, Mr. Carl Levy. Carl, what's your reaction on as an outsider's point of view? Because obviously, I know you've got your us tonight, but what is your reaction to this?
It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. And do you know what? After when I saw the stuff going on yesterday, I said this is going to end so badly. This is not right for football. It's not right for football, Joe. It's not right for the people, not just for the teams like myself or Leeds United or even Wolves or even Newcastle. It's going to be worse for teams that is in non-league, for crying out loud. I'm not going to get the solidarity payments. I'm going to miss out. They're in bust. They're going through bust at the moment with the National League teams are struggling, and you've got teams in League 1, League 2 on the threat of out of existence as well. This is the cause of concern we have it at the moment. It just feels absolute angry. And you know what? I just taken a few minutes off from my work for a few minutes because I thought, let me come on and I'm gonna say, This is going to affect every single football pyramid in not just in England, not just in Scotland, but all over Europe. And this is like a close shop. This is like a boutique. This league is like a boutique for big clubs only. They don't want clubs like us, like Leeds, in 5 years' time, we're back in the Champions League, we have a plan. You just want to ruin our plan and not let us just do what we want to do and not get back to the way it was. They just want to close up shop. And I said, no, these teams still have it off the stalk, and no matter where they finish, they should be in front of someone who finished a lot higher. It's a frigging joke.
I'll say this for the first time in my life, and I'm 24 years old as of last Monday. First time in my life, I'm agreeing with a Leeds fan.
No, but
that's the first time in my life. I'm actually arguing. Sorry, not arguing with. I'm actually arguing for. I'm arguing with for a change. Normally, I'm against Leeds fans, and we all know why.
If only like the people at the top showed the passion in which the lads tonight and everyone on social media and the real fans, if people at the top actually cared and gave the damn about the football club in a whole, in every sense of its being, really, there need to be people at the top. People need to demand change, and I think this is spearheaded it now. It's concluded everything over the last since Sky got brought in. That was the start, really. Whether you agree to or disagree with it, something needs to happen. And if the players strike, there needs to be some big action that really needs to happen. And for the people involved to really, because they don't give a damn. I think it was on Sky today, boys, that it was a whistleblower in one of the board members or something said, like, the footballing is secondary and it's all about first is the revenue, and that just smacks. Doesn't smack belief, but it just highlights what every single football fan has been watching over a 20-year period now. Exactly.
Here's the thing: Florentino Perez started this thing about a decade ago. This was his idea a decade ago. He wanted this Super League for a long time. And what did Arsene Wenger say? It's going to undermine the small and the big and the small clubs. And Wenger will say that 2 years prior to this, and he said it even a decade ago about this, and he said it again prior. And it's disgusting how these clubs are just going to go behind our backs while we're in a bloody pandemic, where everyone's struggling financially, not just football clubs, but every single football fan in the world is struggling at the moment, trying to make sure they have enough food and pay enough bills because everything's so expensive. And it's just at this moment, it's disgusting how these clubs go behind their back and they want to call it shot. But you know what? I'm more surprised of how Man City, who have let me start with Manchester United, with Ed Woodward, who agreed before Friday, to say, I'm okay with these new reforms in the Champions League, and then 2 days later, you decide to leave the European Club Association. Before that, the European Club Association never existed because it used to be a G14 when it was always the big clubs, and then after it became the ECA when it had about 200 clubs or so, and you're telling me that these other 100 something clubs don't mean nothing to you lot. Give me a break.
The worst thing.
Go on.
The worst thing about it, right? Sorry, cut you off, dude. The worst thing about it is, you got the 15 clubs that are a staple. You got the 15 clubs who virtually cannot be removed, but then you've got 5 clubs that are going to be rotated based on performance. But who judges that? Who judges that? Who makes that overall decision? Because if it's going to be Florentino Perez, he's going to make the bloody. If it's Perez, if it's Agnelli, if it's Glazer and all that, they are going to fuck a lot of teams over. And that's fan bases. And I'm going to bring up another comment as well. CB, he's made some very fair comments. I'll give him that. And frankly, I disagree with all of them. But everyone's entitled to the opinion. And frankly, this is where opinions really do matter. CB's mentioned, well, you'll be having the best teams week in, week out. Well, yeah, but frankly, if you're having the same teams over and over and over, those games lose their meaning. You could have a Real Madrid. You could have a Real Madrid versus Man United every year, and it'll feel like a Man United versus Middlesbrough game.
Well, look, I'll miss winding up all my Everton mates. I
will as well. I will as well.
Fans.
You'll still get them in the league. You just won't get the feeling anymore. You just won't get.
That's even. If
it won't feel the same. It won't feel the same anymore. Because frankly, we could all finish like Man United could win Man United could win the league next year, but we don't get the Champions League as a way of doing it. Like honestly, I think the Super League I can understand that clubs want to secure their own financial future and they want to avoid paying UEFA. I understand that, but why not have an independent adjudicator who can mediate between both to have the best possible outcome for clubs, for UEFA, who are just as corrupt as anybody, the Premier League, Serie A, who are no one's going to forget the Calciopoli scandal. No. La Liga's been fucked for recent years, but this is going to save Barcelona debt. Like, Barcelona are going to be raving this.
It's not going to be Barcelona's debt. It's also going to be Atletico Madrid's debt because they're also in £1 billion debt as well.
They are. Yeah.
So they're both getting fucking saved.
I knew to own the banks as well. So, and this has been getting financed by all banks.
It's killing.
This bit sus in it.
It's just. I think.
Clelland is spot on. Ian's spot on. I went to college with Ian. He's spot on. It's like having WrestleMania every week.
That's right.
That's mental.
The Super Bowl. Like,
that's mental. You two know each. That's mental. You two know each other though.
Yeah, we went to college. But it's people just seem to know me. It's still baffling that this is what football is nowadays, and like the Premier League is the Premier League doesn't escape any criticism either. So if anyone thinks I'm just going to attack the Super League, I'm not. I'm attacking all of them because all of them have got to be held accountable. Sky need to be investigated. The Premier League need to be investigated. The Super League need to be investigated. Soph as well now jumping in as well. Like, she's second by it. I can understand Soph's perspective because she plays football as well. So like it's people that don't just watch football, people that play football, they're going to be hurt by this.
Sophie,
it's the worst slap in the face.
Sophie, if you're free to come on, there is a link in the chat and there's a link in the description. You want to jump on for 5-10 minutes, and that's absolutely fine. It's just really, really bad. And like, obviously, I said this, Carl, that our game against you now at the weekend, tonight, is irrelevant.
It is irrelevant. It is absolutely fucking irrelevant now, because now with the Andrea Rosati came out today and he said some things. I shared that post. What Marcel Bielsa with the football is actually the weak's more powerful, is more powerful than the richest man, so forth. To be quite honest with you, it's disgusting in a way that I have to sit here and watch this game tonight, where it's just so irrelevant. For crying out loud, I was looking forward to this game until all this came out last night. I thought this is going to screw over. I will not be surprised by UEFA on Friday if they kick out all the teams that are still in the last four, kicking them out of the competition in both Europa League and the Champions League, because you think they're going to win the trophy and in the disgusting way. No, hell no, I would not let that happen.
Yeah,
void the Carabao Cup final. Void, like, before you bring in Andy, who's actually a second guy. Void the Carabao Cup final. Give the domestic double to Leicester. And I can't believe I'm saying this, give the Champions League to PSG.
Thank you. That's what I would have to say at the moment, because they probably be the best team that has been left. And I
would thought PSG would do that. Carl.
I know.
I hate PSG for who they're owned by. Yeah. I hate PSG for who they're owned by, but frankly, they've done nothing wrong. They've actually came out and said no.
Yeah, I give credit to, because they said no, we're not going to join this league, and I give credit to Bayern Munich. I give credit to Borussia Dortmund because they know, both the German clubs know the fans will be on their asses.
And Leipzig as well. Leipzig are a hated club.
Mm-hmm.
Leipzig are a hated club in Germany, but there is something you are not going to like. There is a German club that are actually joining the Super League, even though they technically shouldn't be allowed because of the 50+1 rule. Have a guess who that is?
Schalke.
Yep.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah. Schalke will join it. They shouldn't be allowed.
Andrew Walker, welcome. What is your reaction to all this?
To be honest, after the last few years, I'm not angry at everyone. I'm just disappointed. Yeah, I took a break a couple of years from football a few years ago because of the way, the direction that the sport as a whole was going. So I'm angrier at some than others. Man City and Chelsea, they're just a lion ripping apart a defenceless gazelle. They're playing to their nature, But Liverpool, even Man United to an extent, like, even though they're owned by the Glazers, like, Liverpool have spoken for ages about being the people's club. You'll never walk alone. All of those things. by signing up to this
Bollocks.
are nothing more than empty platitudes. Nothing more. And Jose Mourinho has already. Did he resign? Was he sacked? Whatever. If Jurgen Klopp is true to his principles, he should have resigned yesterday. Not for any, performance-related thing. Why is he still at a club that would sell out like this?
I remember, I think Ollie was the only one out of the Man United squad that did not want the Glazers to take over the club. I think he was the only player that did not want the Glazers at the time, because I do remember there was something about that. And I'm surprised he didn't say that he doesn't know what's going on. I'm surprised he's not even decided to walk away from these owners.
He was dumbfounded after the. He was dumbfounded after the game. If you watched the game, like at the end, he was completely shocked. He was against the whole Glazer thing. 2005, 2006. He spoke out after the Glazers got into ownership. He was furious. 2005, he was actively saying we do not want them in. Honestly, the Glazers can go fuck themselves.
Yeah, I can understand how everyone is feeling right now. But Jack, would you be surprised if Klopp walked away?
Yeah, well, I don't know if everyone else felt the same tonight. Everyone watching at home, I couldn't sleep last night. My head was absolutely racing. I had about 1 hour's sleep. I got up this morning knackered, been yawning on everyone's podcast. Sorry if I have, but that was one of the main things I was thinking. Yes, Jurgen, as I said at the top of the show, he's contracted to the club. Most of these managers can't really say nothing what they really think. I think if they did, then they'd probably end up getting sacked by the people from the top of the club.
Is that necessarily a bad thing under this circumstance?
Not really. Not really.
They don't have the balls. I don't think FSG have the balls to sack Klopp. No. I'll tell you now. I don't think they've got the balls to do it. But I will say this: you guys won't tell, but I've been awake since 2 p.m. yesterday afternoon. I haven't slept.
So we've got 2 Liverpool fans, a Manchester United fan, a Leeds fan, an Arsenal fan, and a Chelsea fan. Josh, how are you doing, my friend?
Hello.
He's changed already.
What's your reaction, Josh? Because I know I can't keep you for much long, because I know you've got a thing on at 7:00. But what is your initial reaction?
It's about the Chelsea Breed POV is extremely different, because from what I understand, Chelsea have decided to do this more because the other clubs are doing it more than doing it because they want to and because money's involved. So there's this whole, you have to look at the whole speculation of why are Chelsea feel like they're pressured into this. So for me, it's hard to answer, because the club have said very little on that, and there's very little coming out. But when you look at the people who are being associated with this league, it's Liverpool, United, Real Madrid, Juventus, and Arsenal are the ones pushing it. So Manchester City, Chelsea, and Spurs. I feel like the Spurs are probably there more for the fact that they know they're not going to get European football this year, and they're financially not as good And Chelsea and City, I think, are there simply because they don't want to be left out. They don't want to be left behind. They want to be a part of the big European club, the club minority.
I disagree.
So,
I massively disagree with that, mate. I massively disagree. I agree with the City comment, but I disagree with the Chelsea, because look at what Chelsea have done since 2004. They've been a regular contender in the Champions League. They've been regularly competing for Champions League semi-finals. They've been in a couple of Champions League finals as well. Semi-finals, finals, they've been there. They've won the Europa League twice, 2013, 2017. They won the Champions League in 2012. They've won European trophies. As far as I'm concerned, Chelsea being in there, like, you would expect them. You would expect expect Man United, you would expect Liverpool, you'd expect Chelsea, you would expect Arsenal. You wouldn't expect Spurs. Man City, not really. They're not an elite club for the sense of European sense, but they are in terms of Premier League football. They are elite.
The very key bit to why I'm saying this, though, is that the one thing that no one actually knows is that Roman Abramovich has not said yes. This is not a Roman Abramovich decision. This is Bruce Buck, the chairman of Chelsea Football Club. He's made the decision. Abramovich has had no say, and Abramovich could very easily overturn this. And I do actually, weirdly enough, expect Abramovich to. I know Petr Cech is threatened to walk away from the board if they don't overturn the decision. Martina, the sporting director, hasn't fully decided yet. So Chelsea are split. This is not like Manchester United, where all the Glazers and Edward are on the same page. So like Kroenke and his board are all on the same page of Arsenal. The Chelsea board are undecided on what to do, and this has been a decision where I think Bruce Buck has took the. I think Bruce Buck, who made the decision, who has took the decision to say yes, to be in, and then let Roman Abramovich see what happened and see the details, and they will take a decision later on. And that seems to be the general consensus of where Chelsea are coming from. And I think that's why Thomas Tuchel said what he did in his press conference, pretty much hinted at Roman Abramovich is still yet to make his full decision on it.
Yeah.
Josh, let me just say something there. I think Chelsea and Man City have been backed into a corner. They had to no other choice.
Yes.
They were backed into a corner.
That's what I said. Bruce Buck has accepted this because he couldn't say no and then come back and accept it. He had to say yes, and then they can do a U-turn if needed. So Manchester City and Chelsea have been left in a situation where they felt like they've had to take the opportunity and they could do a U-turn. That's why when you look at all these reports, Chelsea are attending meetings. They will be attending the Premier League meeting when they are requested to, unlike the other 5 clubs. They will, Thomas Tuchel's press conference was different to the other managers, where he actually did say that he'll leave it up to the club. So it's very much a Chelsea haven't made a full decision yet. I still don't agree with anything they've done. I absolutely despise what they're doing here, because they're still being involved in something that should not be happening. But I remain level-headed from a Chelsea point of view, because until Roman Abramovich makes a decision, and you'll know when he does, because you'll see more Chelsea board members being involved in this whole setup, that's when I start knowing where the club's going.
At the moment, though, all 6 clubs are still to be excluded regardless.
Yes.
We're still to be excluded. So whatever decision they made, we are not going to find out until right at the end.
Yes.
Frankly, as far as I'm concerned, whatever decision they make, they should tell us nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the thing that I hate about this, is that it's a situation where the fans are being excluded. They're not being. They buy the shirts, they buy the tickets, they buy the streams, they pay the money, they support the club through thick and thin, and yet they're being the last ones to be told anything. That statement that all the clubs posted last night was a disgrace. It was a copy and paste to everyone, and it doesn't give the fans any joy, any certainty, or any respect. And given the time of COVID and the whole situation around COVID, which everyone knows by now, and with how everyone's getting across the world, on top of the fact that you do have a Champions League semi-final, an FA Cup final, and a top 4 race, and you've just completely disregarded the fans and the players and the managers. What they've done to the season is the thing that is a disgrace, regardless of if Chelsea been backed into it or not.
Oh, that's going to be blown out the water, isn't it, though, boys? Isn't it? With
Absolutely. Look, I think what happened with the Project Big Picture a few months ago, when all the clubs like Chelsea, the top 6 clubs, wanted more voting rights. They wanted the power grab, most of the TV revenue, as well as the voting rights. And people like Leeds did not have a voting right, and reduce it to 20 to 18. And like I said, I thought to myself, this is going to leave them not. I said, when it was Manchester Liverpool instigating it, I thought they must have been having a lot of decisions talking about not just with the domestic, but also the European part as well. And I felt to myself thinking, this is good. This is where they've been talking about. This is where the Americanized side of the clubs coming in. I'm thinking it's not right. And like I said, they're trying to kill the game. They're just killing the game that we love so much. After 100 years of tradition and all that stuff, you want to take that away and make it more Americanized. A lot of Americanization does not work in Europe. It never has done. Don't even try with the salary cap. It will never work in Europe. Not even one bit.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a discussion point for a couple of weeks at least, and we can just wait and see what happens to what actually happens with this. I just hope it falls on deaf ears completely.
Absolutely. One thing I will say, if Celtic and Rangers do at some point decide to join it, that Scottish Cup Premiership is going to be so meaningless. It will be so meaningless without those 2 old firm teams.
It'll finally be competitive after nearly 100 years anyway, because it's always been dominated by the best club in Glasgow and the green and white stuff across the road, so it's all right.
Maybe you're right. We'll see.
But even so, it's still. I agree. If they get in, then it's always if they get in, then it's horrible. if Rangers and Celtic again, I swear to God, like that'll be the end of that. The worst thing as well is the clubs they've actually approached, but they've excluded. Like, they haven't considered. Like, I'm against the Super League, but the teams they haven't thought about Ajax, they haven't thought about Benfica.
Ajax has been taught.
I don't get that.
I heard something from Ajax today. They're not said much, but they have not said no to it. So there is interest with that one. But I know Porto have said no. So they're not going to join this malarkey. So it's interesting to see what Benfica does as well too in the next 24 hours.
Just to Carl's point,
rejected it.
Just to Carl's point, the thing is, the more UEFA will try and retaliate against us. Obviously, there was extremely strong comments from UEFA over the course of today. The Super League will try and retaliate by taking all of UEFA's clubs off them, because then what can UEFA do with no Champions League if they have no teams to play on it? It will be a constant war of Super League trying to say, right, you're going to try and do this. We'll try and take your players up. We'll try and take your teams off you. Then what can you do? It'll be a fight between Perez and all of UEFA until the courts and the government, like, you know, the government have said some very interesting things, that they would ban all the English clubs from foreign transfers. They would deduct their money. They would make them pay all their tax back. You know, and one thing that will hurt these clubs the most is in the pocket. So if the government do what they say they could do, and make these clubs all pay the taxes back again. Yeah, they'll go. That's where the Glazers get hurt the most, is in the pocket. That's where FSG get hurt the most, is in the pocket. So the government, people don't say this enough, but the government have serious powers to turn these English clubs into forcing to stay as a football club back in to stay in the league. So, and I think the English government, to be fair, I don't rate them. I don't think they're shit, but they are doing a very good job on acting on a very difficult situation.
Don't worry, absolutely. I hate them as well, but frankly, if they had the power to go for it, frankly, they have got the power, but if they do in fact do it, then by all means do it, because if it gets the Glazers out of my club, I'll be happy.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much to everyone who's obviously come in. Big thanks to Jack Mack, Reese, Carl, Andrew, Josh for coming on. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a big talking point over the next couple of weeks, and we'll obviously wait and see what... Yeah, we'll obviously wait and see. Also, we will need to wait and see what actually happens with the UEFA, because there is talk that PSG are going to be given the Champions League trophy.
Yeah,
so
I've got the tweet here. Do you want to quickly read it out, mate?
Sure. Yeah.
It's from Christian. Read into what you will. UEFA Executive Committee members. I'm going to move that over there. UEFA Executive Committee members ahead of Danish FA Jasper Moller tells broadcaster DR he expects Chelsea, Real Madrid and Man City to be kicked out of this season's Champions League. The club must go, and I expect that to happen on Friday. I know a couple of lads have mentioned anyway, but it was lovely meeting everyone. I've met you a couple of times, and thank you for allowing me to come on, Doug.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would definitely kick them. But yeah, guys, Rich Sports is saying hit the likes, absolutely. JVS found a coin. Yeah, he's stuck in the dark over there. But thank you to everyone who's watched this. Thank you to everyone who's came on as well. And yeah, this is going to be a big talking point, as we all say. But look, stay safe, everyone, and I'll be back soon with some more content. Take care. Bye bye for now.
See you later.